So viewers, our first news from the very particular meeting that has taken place already between Prime Minister Modi and President Vladimir Putin is the fact that Prime Minister Modi has gifted a copy of the Bhagavad Gita to President Putin. This was yesterday itself when President Putin in fact just arrived at his official residence, at the Prime Minister's official residence. Prime Minister Modi in fact said that the Gita inspires millions across the globe, and that he's also said that Gita's teachings and aspirations go worldwide. Hugs and smiles to carpool diplomacy. Modi-Putin camaraderie is on a full display. Prime Minister Modi in fact presented this copy of Gita. Remember, it's a Russian version. It's translated. This very version of the Bhagavad Gita is translated in Russian that was presented to President Putin by the Prime Minister himself. Now, the teachings of the Gita have given aspirations to millions across the world. Those were the very words with which the Prime Minister in fact gave, or rather presented, the very copy of the Bhagavad Gita to President Putin. And you know, this indeed holds a cultural importance as well. It's a personal gesture as well when we speak of the fact that it's a translated version that's been gifted. But Bhagavad Gita in itself holds a deep resonance in the Indian-Russian relationship. The translations go back to as long as 1788 for that matter, roughly to that very era. Milan Sharma joins me on the broadcast to in fact bring us more details on this very front. Milan, a very good morning to you. This very gesture that we see from the Prime Minister, the very gift of a Bhagavad Gita translated in Russian to President Putin. How are we looking at this very gesture? It's a very personal gesture, one would say. It only goes on to show the camaraderie, the friendship and the bonhomie shared between the two leaders.
Certainly, because the message in the Bhagavad Gita is himself from Lord Krishna, who says how you must conduct yourself in times of difficulties, and the sermons that he gives to Arjun at the moment, at that time, is all recorded in this holy book of Bhagavad Gita. You know that it's been translated in more than 100 languages across the world as well, and this personal gesture by Prime Minister Narendra Modi of gifting the holy Bhagavad Gita, which is considered a sacred book in the Hindu culture and tradition, to President Vladimir Putin, is a personal touch between the two leaders, and of course the sharing of cultures of India as well as Russia. And that seems to show how, and gives a message to the world as well, that this long-standing strategic partnership that India has had with Russia and erstwhile Soviet Union remains and continues to remain time immemorial, just like the Bhagavad Gita, which is eternal and forever. And the teachings of Bhagavad Gita stay with us even today, you know, in the Hindu culture and scriptures. The sermons that are given by Lord Krishna are very, very relevant to the geopolitics, in fact, if I may say so, today as well. And certainly there are many lessons that India and Russia can take from this holy book, and that personal gesture of Prime Minister, first of all, breaking international protocol to personally meet with President Vladimir Putin at the airport there, taking him along with him in the same car. That is again breaking another protocol. So shows the kind of personal gestures that the Prime Minister has had, this kind of camaraderie with the Russian leader there, and certainly with that personal dinner that happened at the Prime Minister's home. It's not just a state visit, certainly, but there's more to it that's being watched by the Western world also. Having said that, we are currently outside the ITC, and you know that the Russian president lives under a 5-layer security. Even in India, that remains. He's been, you know, of course, protected by the Indian securities as well as the Russian security agencies as well. And of course, today is another exciting day in the relations of India and Russia, where a lot of bilateral talks will again take place between the two world leaders, of course, and we'll be tracking all that for you on India Today, and how
Very true.
in that interview that was exclusively given to only India Today, The Russian president has answered each and every question, and we're expecting more press statements to come forward on deals related to energy, deals related to defense, people-to-people
That
ties,
is definitely
cultural
something
exchange.
we'll keep an eye out for, Milan, through the day in terms of how the day proceeds. What more statements do we see coming in from either sides, and of course the joint statement at the very end of the summit that will be presented by both the leaders. But you know, if we just circling back to the fact that this very copy of a Bhagavad Gita being presented to President Putin. You know, one thing seems to be rather symbolic here, and if I may put it like this at this point, and you are yourself very rightly mentioned that Krishna, it is Bhagavad Gita carries all the preachings of Krishna when he was in fact with Arjun at one of the times when Arjun required him the most. So it's also a story of bonhomie and camaraderie that we see between them. So yes, this is a very crucial gift that we see, especially when President Putin also came out to say yesterday, of course in his own language, that India and Russia are each other's sukh dukh ke sathi. So it's indeed symbolic at this given point when we speak of this very gift that's been presented. Milan, I'll come back to you, but let me just bring to our viewers more breaking news that's coming in. And this, viewers, is with regards to the itinerary for the day that we are presenting to you on India Today itself. Now, 11 a.m. is when the ceremonial welcome at Rashtrapati Bhavan is to be taking place. 11:30 a.m. Is the wreath laying at Rajghat, because remember, President Putin will also be in fact paying his respects at Rajghat itself. 11:50 a.m. is when the crucial, the much awaited bilateral meeting with Prime Minister Modi at Hyderabad House begins. Now, 1:50 p.m., that is roughly the time that we see, almost 2 hours, is for the bilateral talks to take place between the two leaders. 1:50 p.m. is when it's expected that the joint briefing will be held at Hyderabad House. 7 p.m. in the evening, there's a meeting with the President herself, Draupadi Murmu, at Rashtrapati Bhavan. That is a meeting between President Putin and President Murmu, and this will again take place at Rashtrapati Bhavan. So this is roughly the itinerary that we bring to you of the events for the day. A highly power-packed day, especially in terms of the relationship between the two countries that we are witnessing, but also very important in terms of what is on the plate for both countries when we speak of the bilateral talks, because all eyes are on that. And as my colleague Milan was also mentioning, it's not just India that's watching, but the world is currently watching this very summit and this very meeting between the leaders. Milan, coming back to you, this is the itinerary that we have accessed at this given point. 11:50 to 1:50 seems to be the time of the bilateral meeting. It's a 2-hour span that we see of the meeting. Quite the kind of discussions that we are expecting. We've been speaking about defense, we've been speaking about trade, the current geopolitical scenario, and of course, the Ukraine war in itself. Again, all subjects that have been addressed by the President Putin himself while he was speaking to us exclusively to India Today when we were playing out that interview for our viewers. But yes, what seems to be on the table in terms of priority? Just if you could just prioritize what exactly seems to be on the top of the very list when we speak of the bilateral talks.
Well, certainly because the bilateral between India and Russia is going to encompass all aspects of the geopolitical scenario today. And remember that this is Putin's visit after 4 years to India in 2023 when the G20 summit was on. Putin couldn't make it. And the geopolitical situation in the entire world had changed by then on the backdrop of the Ukraine-Russia war. And even today, when we are talking about the West looking at the kind of relation and the messaging that's going out from India and Russia, certainly one of the top priorities for two countries will be the defense deal and the S-400s. That is going to be a very crucial aspect because remember, India and Russia have been defense partners for a long time. Yesterday, both defense ministers of both the countries, Mr. Rajnath Singh as well as the defense minister from Russia, met packed in New Delhi ahead of Putin's visit, and certainly that is going to form the top of the aspect. But remember that Russia-India also shares people-to-people ties, and a lot of medical students also go to Russian universities. We have Indians who have moved to Russia in the 90s, who have set up pharmaceutical companies there. So pharma is going to be a huge aspect because India creates generics that are exported to the world, and certainly because the companies in Russia have been moving out, and I'm talking about the Western companies. There's more opportunity for trade between India and Russia at this moment, and energy is going to be one of the top priorities as well. Remember that India's oil buying from Russia at better rates was a sore in the eye of the US, and there was a lot of back and forth that was being given to India by the United States as well on that, and the sanctions that were put by the US on oil buying from Russia will also form part of these discussions. But remember, as the Prime Minister as well as the Russian President have mentioned, that India and Russia have been sukh dukh ke saathi, and certainly that relationship has been steadfast and steady for more than 2 decades now. And it has not changed. And this is the kind of messaging that would go to the Western countries when we talk about the cultural exchange, when we talk about the defense deals, we talk about the energy, sufficiency in both countries, and also the collaboration in space technology, which Putin has also spoken about many times with India. And all these things in the backdrop of how both leaders see each other as a strong world leaders in the face of what the West expects India to do, and of course India asserting its geopolitical autonomy in the face of any kind of messaging that's coming in from the Western world as well right now. And certainly Putin has categorically mentioned in the interview to us exclusively, my colleagues Geeta Mohan and Anjana Om Kashyap, that he's no longer interested in being part of the G8, and that itself is a huge message that goes forward to the Western world that would be closely watching this exciting day in India that is being covered by us, and Putin's visit here